Hey, this is Thomas. Life insurance is a topic that will eventually come across in your financial planning. Besides the right product and the right company, it's just as important to have the right insurance advisor. It's a key to the two I just mentioned. But since there are so many life insurance agents out there and they can all seem to be alike, how do you know which advisor is the right one for you? So in today's video, I'm going to share 5 tips on what to look for in an insurance advisor and what kind of questions you can ask so you can find the perfect advisor to work with for the rest of your life. So first thing first, why is it important to work with an advisor? Can I just buy life insurance online? For sure, there are lots of websites you can directly buy life insurance from. For example, you can buy directly from a bank or any number of other online platforms, and it absolutely works if you just treat it like a product. However, insurance is not just like any other product. It's something you should buy to help financially protect yourself and your family. It's not as simple as clicking a button. You need to consider many different aspects. Some you probably hadn't even thought about it. You need to consider, are you using your plan to cover an emergency? Or do you plan to leave a legacy? Do you plan to pay off your debts? Or do you plan to use it as an asset class? Everyone has different needs, and hence there's no one-size-fits-all plan, which I will share more in tip number 3. And that's why working with an advisor is so crucial, so you're able to save your time and money. Alright, the first tip is about who your agent represents. Is he or she an advisor who represents one company only? Or are they like a broker who has contracts with multiple companies? For a moment, let's say you want to buy a house. I personally like to work with a mortgage broker who can access to multiple banks. They can compare the prices and provide the best option to me without using my time. The same thing goes for the insurance industry. There's no perfect or best insurance company, otherwise every Canadian would just buy from them. Some insurance companies focus on young families, some focus on business owners, and some even focus on people who got rejected by insurance company. So finding an insurance broker can help you understand and compare the strength of the plan you're looking for. Once you're interested in looking for life insurance, your first step will probably be reaching out to your friends and family for recommendations, and I'm sure they will happily refer one to you. But before you met with them, do they have any reference you can find? In other words, how searchable are they given in today's modern era? Do their names pop up when you do a quick web search? Even if an advisor comes strongly recommended through someone you know, it's always a good idea to look at their online presence. Look at what reviews they have received on Google, Facebook, and other review sites. Check the advisor's website and social media platforms. And on LinkedIn, you can check the advisor's profile, education, experience, and contact information. They may be sharing useful information and articles with the client through other social media channels as well. But perhaps when you ask your friends and family, you came up empty, or maybe you just prefer to find someone online. If you're looking on Google without any recommendation, you can search an advisor in your city or narrow it down by the neighborhood where you live if the location is important to you. But please note, if the location isn't important to you, you still need to be sure the insurance advisor is licensed in your province. An advisor who only has his license in BC cannot help you if you move to Ontario. Okay, so now you know where to look for an insurance advisor. How do you know if they're good or not? So tip number 3 is finding out their knowledge and network. An insurance advisor is way more than being a quoting machine. He or she is responsible for a major part of your financial planning. For example, insurance can be used for tax, emergency funds, savings, and much more. Therefore, a lot of good advisors practice financial planning, income tax preparation, or some other avenue of financial service as a primary profession, and then add insurance business when it comes necessary. It's important to find out an insurance advisor who is knowledgeable and who can guide you through the entire process, answering all your questions and addressing all your concerns. Even if they like to focus only on the insurance sector, hopefully they have a professional network that they can offer, like lawyers, accountants, or even funeral planners. When it comes to life insurance, one size does not fit all. With health, lifestyle, family, and individual financial needs to take into account, everyone has a different situation. The advisor should take into consideration both your short-term and long-term financial goals. Whether you're just starting a family or nearing retirement, sharing your short and long-term goals with your advisor. It's always best to open and honest with them even if you're embarrassed. Don't worry, they likely heard it all. And this brings us to our next tip, which is communication. An advisor should be able to ask the right questions. For example, when you die, have you thought about covering estate taxes or the funeral costs? These might not necessarily be the easiest conversation to have, but it's important to have them so you and your loved ones are prepared. A good life insurance advisor will take all these information into consideration and help you determine if a term or a permanent life plan, or perhaps both with different coverage amount, is best. One of the major complaints of those who buy life insurance policy is that there's no one around to answer their questions after they have purchased the policy. So how easy can you talk to your potential advisor? Do you have to wait for 2 weeks to get a response? Clients who are able to get a hold of their advisors when they need them are much more likely to stay happy and reassured. A timely response to inquiry is a must, and the advisor must be able to do what they promise. To me, insurance planning is a long-term game, and therefore the advisor needs to be trustworthy and easy to communicate. Lastly, even that advisor fits all the above, at the end of the days, he or she will be the one servicing you until the end. So it's important if you like that vibe and it fits well with your personality. Unfortunately, this is not something I can easily describe. There is certainly no right or wrong answer. For example, some people might think an insurance advisor is persistent, but someone else might think the same person are pushy. What would you think of an advisor who likes to meet at McDonald's and dress in jeans and t-shirt over one who only meets at their office and always wear a tie? Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It all matters to what you like. And hey, there are at least 30,000 advisors working in Canada. I'm sure if you don't feel you have a good vibe with this person, you can always find another. Okay, so now you've decided on an insurance advisor. What kind of questions should you ask them to make sure they're a good fit? The first question you might want to ask is, how long have they been in the insurance business? On average, the turnaround time is around 2 years, meaning a lot of advisors will quit in the first 2 years. When this happens, usually no one ends up taking care of you and your policy, or someone new ends up taking over and you have to start building that relationship again. Unless you have a really good feeling about the advisor, you most likely want to avoid someone who has been in the business for less than a year. With life insurance, you want an advisor who is in it with you for the long haul. Therefore, you might also want to avoid a very mature advisor who's in their 60s when you're only in your 30s. Most likely, he or she will retire long before you will. Now, the second question will be, does the insurance advisor has the product that he or she recommends? If yes, can he or she shows it? If not, why is that? I'm a huge believer of you eat what you cook. Meaning, I wouldn't trust a car sales who try to sell me a BMW, but he owns a Mercedes-Benz. Next is crucial. What kind of guarantees he or she can provide? Will they review with you even after the sale? And how often do they recommend that you meet? Even for term insurance, you should meet once a year, and for any investment-related product, it should be at least a minimum twice a year. And lastly, ask them how big of a team do they have? Do they have advisors that work under them, or are they independent? What type of partners do they have? Do they have someone who can help you with financial advice, an estate planner, or an accountant? Yes, working independently works fast, but working with a team gets you further. Alright, now that we covered that, the bottom line is these items are just some of the qualities that life insurance advisors most possess. It's important that you find a good one, and ideally someone who you can forge a long-term relationship with. The last thing you want to deal with after a death or illness is having to wait on hold for hours or be haunted by lawyers or administrators for unreasonable asks. A good life insurance advisor will work with you through that process to ensure that it's a pain-free experience. And as always, if you have any questions about your insurance plan, comment below and I will do my best to answer. Hey, thanks so much for watching this. This is Thomas, and I will see you in the next video.